to Talk with JJ. We're back after a month or so and had to travel. We had Pan Ams, and this is going to be the subject today. We have Nick over here again. He's back finally. He
Hello,
you know,
hello.
made his way back to the podcast after a long time. And we're going to talk about Pan Ams that happen, Worlds that will
Mhm.
probably happen,
Hopefully.
Masters Worlds, hopefully, yeah, I hope so too. And we'll see, there's going to be a lot of subjects fighting, who's who did well, who didn't do, who deserved to get crushed,
Right.
and
American nationals. Potentially.
yeah, potentially American
Potentially.
nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that going on, and we start with what you thought about Pan Ams, because I was there, so I had the inside
Uh-huh.
view of the how the event went, and
Yeah. I'm glad it happened, for one.
yeah,
I mean, I think the jiu-jitsu players of the world needed something.
yeah,
And I think everybody's been sitting on ice for the last few months, COVID and whatever else. So I'm glad it happened, first and foremost. So I'm glad people got out there and competed, and some newer names you might not have known or heard of, getting to the finals and quarterfinals and stuff like that. So, maybe some opportunity for some of these guys.
no, yeah, definitely. That's like we had. Well, we knew a lot of. Oh, like you said, it's like, man, it just needed. Like, I understand people in Brazil and other
Sure.
countries, and they're like, oh, this and that, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Yeah, I understand. It's
Sure.
not even with fans. There's only people over here,
Of course.
but man, there's people from all over the world.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of Brazilians.
Yeah.
Look at the finals.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them. Some of them are stuck here.
yeah.
They haven't even left.
And it's like you can't complain.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a microphone problem over here.
What's going on over
Yeah,
there?
I don't know. But you can't complain if there's 90% of the people that end or went to the finals were Brazilians,
Sure.
and you're like, oh, it's not fair. I understand. Yeah, it's not fair, but
It is what it is. I mean, the world's not
well,
fair
the
right
whole
now.
yeah, the word's not fair, and it's like, yeah, some way. I tell you this. We're talking about this in the gym. Remember, like I was like, man, I think some weight classes, yeah,
Mhm.
they made a difference.
For sure. For
You
sure.
know, but some other weight classes, it's
The
like,
same guys. You saw the same guys
yeah,
in the finals.
and it's like
Yeah.
probably they'll be the same guys they'll be anyways.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, let's get like super heavy, right?
Mhm.
Filipino
Yeah.
lost,
Yeah.
but he was there.
Yeah.
Guilherme was there.
Yep.
He was on the podium at Worlds,
Yep.
and there are some other guys, but it's like from the if you think about it, the miss, it was like Ali
Mhm.
and Merigali. Merigali didn't fought last
Yeah.
year either.
Yeah. He
Like
hasn't
the
fought
last
in a
two
while.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not that he was gonna make the trip over here.
He was doing more super fights and like BJJ Stars
Yeah.
and those other events.
So he will probably not be here.
Yeah.
So you can't count him.
For sure.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
what, Ali in the, yeah, I don't know if it's, I think Ali's in here in America now.
I don't know. I saw he posted some pictures the other day. He was, I forgot where he was, but I think he is in America.
Yeah. So he probably didn't
Yeah.
want to fight.
Yeah.
What, so it's like,
COVID maybe.
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
So it's like he was not there.
Uh,
Then you're like, oh, Keenan, he didn't compete. He
yeah.
was, that's the weird thing. He was there.
He was at the tournament.
He was at the tournament, and he got a seminar on Monday, I think.
In Florida.
He did a seminar on Monday, not Monday, I think Saturday or Sunday in Orlando.
Interesting.
So it was kind of weird, like, because he was there coaching his students and everything, and he didn't show
So
up.
maybe that's the transition. Maybe he's there, for the students more than anything, and to take. I mean, it's hard. I mean, there's very few coaches that can do both.
Yeah.
You think about it, and he just opened that gym in San Diego, so he's got a ton of new students. He's really working on his branding. Maybe he decided,
Yeah.
just worlds.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Probably he was just like, man, it's not a good year, and
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
the other weight classes, if you think about heavy, um, Braguinha won,
Yep.
and
He's
he was
always there.
he was
Yeah.
one of the finalists
Yep.
against Felipe Pena.
Yeah.
Felipe Pena, when was the last time he fought Pan Ams? So it doesn't really
Oh,
count. So
yeah.
in a sense, it's like
Yeah.
some weight classes maybe the lightweight classes, man. Like, for example, feather. We
Mhm.
had Mateus Gabriel.
Yeah. He lost quarterfinals.
Finals.
Finals. Okay.
We got Mateus Gabriel. We had Kennedy.
Yeah.
So it's
He
like
lost first round, huh?
to Mateo Gabriel
which is
again.
awesome, yeah.
And it was
But
weird.
they're 2-2 now, right? I think.
2-2.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a great rivalry for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
That's
But I
great.
tell you this, man, I felt like I don't know if it was the training,
Mhm.
but I saw this once and whoever was watching, it was Kennedy tried to come up to
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah.
Mateus Gabriel throws the triangle just like he did when he broke Kennedy's arm, and you
That
can
was
see
so
Kennedy
nasty.
just like
The fear.
no throw himself back to defend the triangle. It
Yeah.
doesn't try to come up, and you can see he's like, I think it's still on his head,
For sure.
and he's like, oh shit, it's
Yeah.
like
The
you know,
same move, same
same
guy.
move. Then you can see he was a different guy.
Yeah.
Even and I was talking to Lil, I was like, man, even like because Kennedy's the one guy that he's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
little pitbull, you know,
For
he
sure.
like he attacks and he
Yeah.
likes to take the pace and do everything. And you can see he was like back though, like he was
Yeah.
letting Mateos like control the fight a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't training at the time. Who knows? You know.
Yeah, no,
There's, there's a lot.
for what I heard about like unfortunately I don't think Corbin is running his gym, so it's like yeah, he probably
Yeah.
wasn't training a lot, you
In
know.
Canada, I know a lot of them got shut down. You know, I mean, look at Calterra. He made that post
Oh,
saying
yeah.
like a $5 grand fine if he opens or something like that. And,
Wow.
you know, which is
Yeah.
insane. But
But
yeah, I think a lot of the same guys that you see on the podium, whether it's an Open, Pans, Worlds,
yeah.
something, they were all there.
Yeah.
I think the biggest, gap is in the women's division.
Yeah.
You did have a lot of these women come up from Brazil,
Mhm.
that you would usually see.
Yeah. And from
Fi-
Europe.
Yeah,
Like
Fiona
Fiona from
Davis,
Europe.
yeah, she's great. You
Yeah.
know, Bianca Basilio, Bia Mosquito, like all these,
Mosquito, yeah.
all these girls that are always at the top
Mhm.
of the podium
Yeah.
weren't there. You know.
Yeah, but we still have
For sure.
some names, you know,
For
like,
sure.
but yeah, but yeah, definitely I think the girls. But then we have like some upcoming girls, like you know, and we have uh, Montero and Nachi
Yeah.
and those
Yeah.
guys that
Yeah.
the girls are always there.
For
You
sure.
know, like
For sure.
that's how I see it. It's like yeah, there was some people missing,
Yeah.
but in the same time it was like
The girls that were here really represented.
there was a high percent. What I want to say is like there was a high percentage of the top guys were there.
Oh yeah.
Man, because
No doubt.
again, the feather, there was Isaac.
Yeah.
Then we seen that guy, Samuel, the guy that's like upcoming
He's a
kid.
stud, man.
Yeah. For
He's
us, he's like, yeah, man, whatever. You
out of
know, it's
nowhere.
like, yeah.
Really, like, I mean, when he was it, did Fight to Win? No, it was Third Coast against Jenny. No,
No,
Fight to Win.
if I win the team.
Jenny Grippo, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that was a man.
Yeah.
I just,
And he did the little 3-man tournament too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a tough one. Who won the Gracie Barra, right?
Gracie Bot one.
Yeah, that was a tough.
That was a good one.
That was a tough go.
Man, and I tell you, the venue was, in my opinion, and I talked to Andre when I got there. I was like, hey man, I really think you guys should consider like not even about the COVID or anything, just move to Florida.
What do you mean?
Just move Pan Am's to Florida.
It'd be nice. I mean, so here's the thing. You have Nogi in New York every
That's
year,
it.
right? There's nothing in the South, and maybe this will give them like some of that to move down there.
That's what I told him. Like,
Yeah.
man, you're gonna make the sport grow.
For sure.
And that's why one of the reasons California is so much because they have the big tournaments over
Of
here.
course. And
You
there's
know?
more gyms here than anywhere
Yeah,
else in the country.
but probably because of that. Because like Worlds got here first.
I think because of
Then
the
Pan
sun
Ams.
and the ocean.
Well, man, the Florida
Same.
sun.
It's,
You
without a
understand?
doubt.
It's like, and if you think about it, Pan Am's was in Orlando first.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
The first one was in Hawaii, then was in Orlando for many years.
Why would they do Hawaii?
Man, because I don't know, the first one was in Hawaii.
That's so crazy.
I think it was like 1993 or 1996 or something like that.
I was still in high school.
Yeah. So it was like the first one was in Hawaii, then they went to Orlando,
Yeah.
then they started coming to America,
To California.
to California after.
Yeah.
And man, I think they should do it over there. Like you said, it's like it's one big one over there,
Yeah.
and it's down the
And
south.
it's not even that big though in New York. It's
Yeah.
big, but
But
not.
it doesn't compare,
No.
right?
No, Pan Am's would be really good on the East
Yeah.
Coast.
And the whole thing that how I see it, and I told Andrea, like for the venue and
Mm.
people bringing the venue is, I think, my opinion, way better than airline.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the how much space you have down,
Sure.
if you block like you do Irvine,
Yeah.
it'll be amazing. And they can put way more
You're
mats.
staying on the floor to block off
The floor,
anybody from
the
going
floor.
down.
Yeah, you remember the venue that we had in San Jose for World's No Gi a couple of years ago?
I didn't go to it, but yeah,
It was
I know the venue. I
pretty-
didn't go to that event.
pretty much the same thing, but newer.
Yeah,
A little, the wall's not so high,
sure.
like Irvine,
Like
you can
yeah,
barely see it.
fall and die.
Yeah, and it's like high, but it's like a lot of restrooms. It's not like
Okay.
Irvine's like you're upstairs and then you
Yeah,
have downstairs and it's
yeah.
like, man, a lot of open space like
Do they have
to
a warm-up
warm up.
area?
They didn't have a warm up area,
Okay,
but they have two like kind of a ramp to like to the doors to go outside,
okay.
like on the sides
The
of
edge of the stage,
the
either
semicircle
side,
that
yeah.
they could easily put
Put
a
mats,
huge
whatever.
huge mat over there.
Maybe they didn't because of COVID too, so they didn't have
Yeah,
people
yeah, I don't think,
gathering
yeah,
and,
that's
you
what
know.
they're trying, I think they were trying to avoid, so that, yeah, I think it was smart too, you know.
If they put it down there, I mean, it really expands the reach of the IBJJF if you think about it, right? Now they have a hub in Florida. They just did a tournament in Foley Beach, Alabama. They've done, what do you call it?
Dallas, no, Oklahoma.
Atlanta, sorry,
Atlanta,
we're
yeah.
going there in two,
Yeah.
3 weeks, 4 weeks. Couldn't even think of
Yeah.
Atlanta. But they have Atlanta, so if Miami or Orlando or wherever becomes their hub, now they can get to these other cities on the East Coast and really expand into the Carolinas and,
Yeah,
you know, go up into
everywhere.
Virginia, Baltimore, all these other cities, you know, and really bring that quality tournament, you know.
And they can create a base of the mats and everything for a big
That's what I'm
tournament,
saying,
and
yeah.
they can divide that big tournament, because
And send it to
if they
different
have like
venues.
12 mats,
Yeah.
man, they can do two small tournaments with
Sure.
6 mats,
Yeah.
that's a kind of.
Like 500 people,
Yeah.
you know, so, and they, I mean, it might be a good move for them, and maybe it's something they're toying with, you know, I know.
And there's the attraction of Disney World. So it's like the guy that goes on the truck.
What?
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, it's like.
Did you go?
No, no,
Why
man. But
not? I thought the
if
attraction
worlds,
was there.
worlds, I'm
Worlds
going.
you're going?
Yeah, 100% I'm going, man. It's
I haven't
Disney
been there
World,
in
man.
years,
And
man.
man, they have.
I used to
Man,
go as a kid every summer. Every
and
summer we go down there.
some guys went and they're like, no line,
No, of course not.
and I was like,
And they
I
sell
regret
beer.
it.
They sell
They
beer
sell
now.
beer there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
they just
no,
started
they
like a couple years ago. Yeah.
I thought they did it before. At
Uh-uh.
the well, Epcot Center they do at the
For
restaurant.
sure. Yeah. No, this you can get beers and walk around now.
No,
So.
see the dads are all happy.
Hell yeah. I mean, you got
So
the kids
this is
screaming
the
out there.
thing, because then it's like if you're gonna fight one day
Mm-hmm.
and you want to take your family to
It's a
watch
family
it,
vacation.
it's a family
For
vacation.
sure.
So even for the guys to deal with their wives, it's like, oh, I have to go to Florida,
Yeah.
and it's like imagine, because if you think about the guys from the Midwest or like a little bit more up north, and
Yeah,
they have
it's
to come
cold.
all the way to California,
Yeah. So
right? And they're
I
like,
had to do it for years.
yeah, and the wife's gonna be like, well, but where are you gonna go?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, California. He's like, again?
Yeah.
And it's like, where are you gonna? And there's nothing to do. So he doesn't have the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I'll spend more money. I'll just take my family because
For
they're
sure.
like, I don't want to go to
And
Irvine.
if they do it around the holidays every year, not like a family Christmas, you know,
Yeah,
holiday
exactly.
trip or whatever. I mean, there's some good
Yeah.
thinking here.
Or even the biggest thing too is if they do it like they did if they go back to March, mid March, that's like spring break
Yeah.
for the kids.
Yeah, but I think those prices would be through the roof for spring break, for Disneyland and
Yeah, they probably have to
for
change
Disney
it.
World. Yeah, it'd be expensive for sure. Spring break, because all the kids get that 2 or 3 week gap. So if they wedge it in there, I mean, I
Well,
think.
but whatever date, Disney
Yeah.
World is, it's always, you know,
It's busy
yeah,
24/7.
yeah, 24/7. They always
It is.
open. Like it was the first time they ever closed for like, since they
Couple
opened.
months, yeah, yeah, sucked. Everybody closed, man.
Yeah. So, but man, IBJJF again did an amazing job. There was like, the mats were set up a little bit different. They
I
had
saw that.
3 mats and they have a big space, and
Yeah.
I like it, man, because
Yeah.
it's like the guys who stay in the middle, and
Yeah.
it was like it's not everybody on one side. So like the coaches were closer to
Sure.
to the to the mats.
Yeah.
So it was better because if you think about Irvine, you have the table, then you're like a bunch
Yeah.
of people, then you
Yeah.
have some guys warming up, and you're like, hey, trying to poke the guy and be like, hey,
Yeah.
can you move a little bit? And
Yeah.
this, I think they nailed, like, man, they should.
This setup.
Yeah, this
And they
setup.
had 2 big mats on the end, right?
Yes, for
So
the finals.
For the finals.
Yeah.
They didn't use them during the day.
No, they did.
Okay.
They did.
But the finals for each
Yeah, but
division
they use
was
more for the black belts. They start like
on those
putting
big
over
mats.
there.
Gotcha.
Because yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
What if
man,
they put those in the middle and did it almost like, what do you call it setup?
oh,
Like a
Pan Am.
World Pro. No,
Whoa,
World
whoa,
Pro. You know, they do
yeah.
the 2 big ones in the
Well,
middle
the
and
Pan
then.
Am's over here. They do that.
They did?
Yeah. It's 2 big ones, then the other ones on the side.
Oh,
last
on
few
the
years.
last, but on the
Yeah.
last, on the last day.
On the last day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But this was set up on the first day. I saw
Yeah.
pictures and they had those 2 mats
Yeah,
on the
I
end.
think they just set up just to be like, man, like,
Uh,
and it's smart. What's the difference? Just put
Yeah.
all the like,
But what if they did the 4, two on each end, and then the, six mats in the middle or something.
Yeah.
So it gives everyone a view
Mhm.
from the top. But either way,
I think it was the closest one to the one of the bay. They had two different. That was another thing. How big it was.
yeah,
They had two different uh, corrals, like for the guys to come in.
gotcha.
So
Like
they
the
had
pit areas?
yeah, the pit areas. They had
Both
two,
sides.
one on each side.
Really?
So from Matt, like wherever number was like on those sides, you
Yeah,
go to that
to
one,
that side,
and if you go to
gotcha.
you go to the other one. So I like that too because it's less crowded
Yeah,
and it's easier to like people
Yeah.
come in and it's like scales and like different it was like a completely different area.
yeah,
It's pretty nice, man. I mean, again, IBJJF always they
yeah.
always do
They
a
do
good
their
job.
homework.
Yeah,
They do their homework and,
because they be doing.
Yeah.
What people don't understand is like people look at IBJJF and sometimes they're like, yeah. And I'm like, go to one other tournament
yeah,
and then go to IBJJF and be like,
for sure.
and I have like student dads and moms or like even students that never been there like, man,
It's just
it was so
different.
nice. Like the first time they thought it was this, and they're like, man, that was so nice. And I was like, yeah. It was like,
Yeah.
no, man, because you go to the small tournaments and it's like you're there forever.
Yeah. You're
It's
sitting
like
on the mats,
you
like
sit on the mats, and
it's
it's like this thing's so like
a machine.
organized and everything. I was like, yeah, man, because they've been here for like 20
Yeah.
something years, and it's like all the mistakes that you do in 20 years.
They've made everyone you can
Yeah.
make. But that's the thing. I think, as tournaments shut down, we constantly stay in touch with them, and
Mhm.
I was emailing with our rep at the IBJJF,
Yeah.
and just getting details and to see the amount of homework they did before they even did an event. When I
Uh-huh.
was in Austin, we set up a booth in Austin, and when I got there, they're handing out these kits that have like a mask and gel and gloves and all this stuff in there, and I was like, this is really neat. Like nobody else is doing this, and so to me, they're really taking the time and making the effort to
Mm.
make it as safe as possible,
Yeah.
for everybody during this kind of weird time, but realistically, by the end of the day, nobody's wearing a mask and nobody really cared.
No. No.
It's,
No.
I mean, Austin was that way. You look at pictures from Pans, it kind of seemed that way. Everybody was kind
But
of
the way I
masked
see
up.
it is like, man, if you got out of your house,
Yeah,
got into a plane,
yeah,
flew to a different state
of course.
to wrestle someone,
Yeah.
they have
No idea.
zero idea how this guy's taking care of his life.
Yeah, yeah,
And being around a bunch of like
Yeah.
30,000 other people,
yeah.
it's not gonna be like, oh, maybe she wear a mask when I walk around because
But I'll tell you this,
Corona is trained to not go inside the mask and be when we were
but
fighting.
it knows not to. It knows.
Yeah,
not
it
to.
knows not
I
to.
think it's got respect.
And the whole thing that's like the big difference too is I was talking again with Andrea like the second day. I was like, man, do you guys know this? Like, because they're announcing like, hey guys, keep your mask on.
Yeah, of course, they're
'Cause
doing
the
their
venue.
job. They have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Absolutely.
For the venue. But then I told them like, hey, you know that because Florida, the week before, 2 weeks before, they changed everything.
What do
They're
you
like,
mean?
there's no restrictions.
They opened everything up.
Yeah.
The governor
But,
there opened it
yeah.
all up. Yeah.
But, and there was someone like, yeah, but for us to have no restrictions, we had to apply
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
and we had to change some stuff.
Yeah.
So they're just like, the guy was like, yeah, you guys can do it, but then you have to change a few other things and do
Yeah.
this and that. Then he's just like,
And they have that waiver too. You have to sign, and
Yeah.
So I mean, again, they do their homework. They do
Yeah.
it right. I get
they do. Yeah.
everybody's, whether it's a gym, a tournament, whatever it is, everybody was affected, and is still affected,
Right.
by Corona and all the stuff going on. So I mean, for example, there's a tournament we're going to this weekend. The promoter called me this morning, he's like, hey, did you book your flight yet? Because if you might want to hold off, we might have to move venues, like, and this is the week out, you know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, things constantly change.
Yeah.
I think as more information comes out about it, and people
Mm-hmm.
either get over it,
Yeah.
or whatever,
And it's a virus. I think of the main thing that people don't understand is, and I told this on the show, on the other show before. So my sister's an epidemiologist. She lives in Sweden,
Yeah.
and she's like, America treated it like it's the winter. In a few weeks, winter is gonna be over. She's
Yeah.
like, it's a virus.
Yeah.
In the history of humanity, only two viruses were eradicated. And
Yeah.
it's like, and she's like, this one to make the scene,
Yeah.
it would take like a decade
Yeah.
to be like oh, okay, we're
Yeah.
not causing problems
Sure,
to people.
controlled it.
So it's like, oh, we're gonna be like this forever? Again, we
Yeah.
can't.
No.
And it is
Society will
because
fail.
in reality is it's not really doing anything.
No. I mean, I had it 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I had it. I literally was in Dallas and Austin. I worked two separate events that weekend, flew home, actually drove back to Chicago, then flew back to California. Yeah, it sucks. It was a long week.
It was the drive.
Well, so here's the thing, and I'm very good about keeping my mask on, and I use gel in between every transaction,
Yeah.
like super, just conscious of this because the baby and the wife, and all that. I don't want to get anybody sick and get back to California and like, I don't know, I felt like allergies for a couple days. I was like, this is weird. And then all of a sudden I couldn't smell or taste anything. And I was like,
Hmm.
so I kind of yelled up to my wife. I was like, hey,
Hello.
I go, can you taste this orange juice real quick? And she goes, what do you mean? I said, I can't taste anything. She goes, really? And then her mom right away freaked out and got tested and I was positive. Again, I didn't have any symptoms. The most annoying thing is like I couldn't smell or taste. So I'm cooking breakfast and I couldn't
Yeah. Wow. That
taste.
must be crazy.
It was weird. It was definitely weird. And then the wife got sick, the mother-in-law got sick.
Yeah. They all get.
Everybody. But
Yeah.
everyone got over it in a
Yeah,
week.
but
And no issues.
And the whole thing too is like people understand is like I was with people that got sick
Yeah.
and I trained with.
Yeah.
Live with the person that was sick, zero.
Yeah.
And I called my sister and I was talking to her, and she was like, it's probably our genes or something. And I was like, why? She's like, well, I worked in a hospital for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
She's like, besides me, only one nurse didn't get sick.
Yeah.
And she's like, I had
It could
no
be.
antibodies,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. Plus the whole thing is this: you don't know when you got it.
No.
You don't know if it was.
I could have had it a week before that.
15 days before.
Something. Yeah. Yeah.
In the sense, like, you have to map 15 days of your life and be like, let me
Yeah.
see when I
This point
really
right
I
here.
saw the virus coming.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Got me when I stepped off the mat.
Yeah, and I was in Florida, and man, I think it was like we said. It's like I think it's more of a wow.
Yeah.
What people didn't need to understand, and I understand. Like, Kynan was the most famous guy that really complained about it,
Yeah.
and he was like, and I
He had it?
No, he complained about the panic
Why?
because he's in Brazil. Because he's an athlete visa, so he needs interview, and the consulate's closed, so
It's closed,
he
yeah.
can't come.
Yeah.
But I understand his side. But at the same time, like we're saying, it's
What's his side?
like
They don't test their pants?
no, they're like, oh my God, why are you doing Pan Ams? Because it's like, it's like not supposed to happen. And I'm like, yeah, but man, it's like,
Okay, you missed one. What if you were injured? And he just came off suspension, didn't he? Wasn't he just suspended for a year or whatever?
exactly. But he's how lucky.
The luckiest man in the world.
How lucky.
But how much did he spend on his attorney is the question. So
No,
what
he
he
spent
won
all
in
his Spider
Spider?
money.
Oh yeah, he spent $100,000 easy.
And he had to return the money. And
And
this is one
sponsors.
thing that I forgot to tell as well, because Checkmate got second.
It changes the points when
It
you
changed
lost.
the points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they lose 9 points.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an
So-
18-point swing if you think about it.
So we are lost by 9 points. Was like
Yeah.
we go second.
Second. Yeah.
That's good. And man, you can't be that selfish. It's like, man, like you said, like jiu-jitsu community needed a big tournament because it's small little
Everybody.
tournaments. Everybody needed. They need to be like, okay, our lives is getting back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And gyms being like,
Gym owners too, man. They
Yeah.
needed that to push their students to everything, man. I mean, there's friends of mine that close the doors of their gym, and it's sad, and you wish you could do more to help them, but at the end of the day, I think everybody was just the whole world. Not even, I mean, our community is obviously what we know,
Yeah.
but I have friends in the restaurant business and all
No,
kinds of
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and they're just and they just closed Chicago again. I mean, starting tomorrow at noon, I think it is, no indoor eating at all. Yep, back to zero.
See, that's like the South's good.
Yeah, I mean, they don't care. Texas does
They
not
don't
care.
Well, Florida is the same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
actually, Florida is like a few places you go in. It's like,
Yeah.
man, if I gotta say something, California's a little bit like that now. The other
It
day,
is now.
the other day when I went to Walmart and I forgot a mask,
Yeah.
and I was like trying to hold the shirt, and I was
Yeah.
like, then I was like, let me ask for like a spare mask, and then they're like,
Yeah.
hey, we have some masks, and they're like, nope, and I was like, man,
Yeah.
she's not giving. Then I started walking around to look to buy one,
Yeah.
and I couldn't find it. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
like F this.
See, people, I think the thing is people get sick, right?
Yeah.
And like I've been a little bit more relaxed since I've been sick, right?
Mhm.
Or whatever you want to call it, since I had it, I should say.
Yeah.
So before it was always mask, gloves, gel, like everything. Now I'm kind of like, mask if I remember it. Like, yeah, it's like,
Like I have it because
yeah,
it's like you walk someplace and they're like, can you please put your mask
yeah.
on? I'm like,
And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to walk into
no,
a store or
I'll
whatever and be like,
never.
no, I don't need to
I'm
wear
like,
one.
yeah,
Come on.
this is all fake. I'm not gonna wear it. And it's like, just
and,
wear a mask. You're not
and
gonna
that's it.
die for like 2 minutes.
And I really think if more people did, if you believe it or not, whatever, just
Oh, that
help the world.
yeah,
Don't be a selfish,
yeah, of course.
and just help the world a little bit.
Yeah. But
Crazy.
back to Pan Am's.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
How was the crowd there? It didn't seem super packed. Like a lot of the pictures
no,
I saw.
they're having a good control, right? Because what they did is like you can only
Enter
that
with
competitor
somebody. Yeah.
needed to go in. Of course, for the teams, they let one guy from the media go in,
Sure.
and like check night, we had 100 and something students,
Mhm.
and even on the black belt day,
Yeah.
we had like Lucas and Well, but then you have like Chico's fighting, and then we have another like 20 black belts, and well, for example, we had 7 finals,
All the black belts.
all black belts. So if you
Man.
make the match like at least we had all those guys fighting the day before,
Yeah.
or like all the same day.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes we had 2, 3 mats, and it's like Lucas had the lower belts that he needed to take care of,
Sure.
and it's like the competitors and everything. So it's like they were letting like some
More
guys.
coaches.
Yeah, we talked under that before, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna let like one or two
Couple
guys
extra.
come in from different teams, and it's understandable. It's like you don't have
Yeah.
you can't be by like the guy wants to take his wife or someone, and it's like it's
Yeah.
not a coach,
Yeah.
But
Did they allow spectators, not spectators,
No.
competitors to go, like, let's say I competed on
No,
Tuesday and I
no,
wanted to go
no,
Wednesday and watch?
no. That's why
Nothing?
the crowd's not so crazy.
And I know they said that, I just wasn't sure how strict they were going to
No,
enforce that.
they were strict.
Very
Like,
strict. That's
like,
good though.
yeah,
I mean, it's
the
good.
venue was like metal detector. Like I think it's Florida because of Disney World,
Gotcha.
so it's like
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
detector, look in the bags, a guy with a dog.
For bombs or drugs?
I have no idea.
Or
I
money?
hope.
Which one?
I don't know. It was weird because the dog. It's not that like, he was sneaking. He was just like sitting with the dog.
Yeah.
So
It's gotta be bombs. I mean, what are they
Yeah.
gonna pinch somebody for some weed?
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah,
cares,
yeah. So then they had temperature check. Then you go in the line
Yeah.
with the competitor. The competitor gives his name, and he's like, "Where's your code? Who's
Your plus
yeah,
one
your
or
plus
whatever.
one?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "This person." Then they put a little band. Then two
Like
days were
like
different
a wristband
bands.
or a stamp?
No, little. 2 days were wristbands and 2 days were stamps.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's like
So
they
buried
mix.
it up.
So it's like people didn't like,
Gotcha.
and then you come in. So it's like
Okay.
you can like there was no other doors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of course, probably some people like change the
Sneaking in
sneaking
stuff.
in and stuff like that.
But here's the thing, they're doing a great job
Mhm.
controlling
Yeah.
the situation
Yeah.
and trying to keep, again, everyone safe and,
Yeah,
you know.
I think it was more for the again like the rule just came out and they already had all set
Sure.
everything up, and the venue was like the one that controlled, and they're doing announcements and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And but what I liked, it was like one thing that was really really good. You still could see, even like we said, there were some guys missing. There had some really good fights,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
there's like
There were some real good matches.
yeah,
Real good.
yeah,
There were some weird ones too.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll,
like
we'll talk
like
about Mikey after.
yeah, because it's like
I don't
well, let's
understand why
talk
he
about
was.
it. It's like can I say something?
Anything.
And like one person that knows him as in like personal, like talk to
Mhm.
him and hangs out with him,
Yeah.
told me he's like, yeah, Bernardo, he's not that humble. And I was like, really?
Really?
Yes. My
He's always
reaction.
seemed that way to me. And I've talked to him
Then
a bunch
I'm
of
gonna
times.
tell you, and we're gonna talk about it, and the people listening, we're gonna see the same thing.
Yeah.
He seems so humble and he does all this stuff, right? Then he told me that he's not. When he said it's like, oh, I think I'm gonna do this weight class. It's because he thinks he can beat some person or someone.
Okay.
So it's not that
Was he
he's
going
like.
after one person or the whole group?
I think he thought it was an easier weight class
Gotcha.
to fight against the guys.
Tough, man.
Because super heavy they had Felipe Angel. Ultra heavy they had Panza, Max, those guys,
Yeah.
no chance.
None.
Then heavy. I was like,
Yeah.
And I on his head. That's what I'm saying. On my head, he's like, if you want to test yourself, sign up. Go to your weight class,
Sure.
or even the weight
Do the
class,
open.
even the weight class that you're weighting yourself in. Like, but he's probably walking around fatter.
Yeah.
But then you have Isaac, Kennedy,
Yeah.
Mateus Gabriel.
Yeah.
You have guys that know his
For sure.
styling, like Thiago Del One.
Yeah.
He knows it's like for him,
Yeah.
the guys are stronger,
Yeah.
just as fast,
Yeah.
and they know the game.
Yeah.
I think that would be testing himself.
To go up one, not
One
four.
class. No, four, and be like, I'm testing myself. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You understand? Because on his head, he was like, oh, those guys don't do so much. So I'm going to go and, you understand?
He found out real fast they do a
Yeah.
lot.
So after they told me that he's not humble, I caught up some stuff that he did, and then I was like, huh. And this one thing, it's like, if you want to test yourself, go to one weight class.
Yeah.
Go to the weight class that you actually have the last year's Pan Am's, Worlds,
Sure.
gi and no gi.
Yeah.
Both guys are on that weight class. Why don't you test yourself on that weight class?
Yeah.
That's testing yourself.
Sure.
Or go to feather and
Yeah.
or light feather and go to the open division.
Yeah.
You
And
understand?
he gave up what? 30 pounds? 40 pounds?
Then I told some people, who was like, he went Orlando, and I was like, man, Orlando's gonna kill him. And one guy was like, I don't think so, man. And I'm like,
What?
I was like, are you fucking crazy? And he's like, yeah, man, I don't know. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Orlando's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. He got submitted.
Bad.
And then he was like, oh, I didn't. Then you know another thing that he gave himself up being not that humble. He came and he was like, oh, I was not trying to offend anyone going that weight class. It's like, motherfucker,
Yeah.
you know what you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So on the back of your head, you just want to clear that because you know people got offended because it's like,
You stepped on there.
dude, you coming here thinking these people are just a bunch of like not good and you don't know your game. That's why you came here.
Yeah.
So you understand? I think that's another thing. And nobody's so humble like he's like all the time. And when you get someone's back at the finals at Worlds and you smile and you like, you know what I'm saying?
Heat of the moment,
He's
maybe.
never.
I have to give the benefit of the doubt.
Have you ever seen on the hit of a moment Lucas Lapri do anything?
But he doesn't show any emotion ever. Win, lose, or draw.
Exactly.
Win, lose, or draw. He shows no emotion
Humble.
ever.
And he's way better than Musamasi.
Yeah. Where's Mikey training now? I know he's back in Vegas.
I think it's Studio 76.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
With Roberto. And man, and that was
Yeah.
unfortunately Roberto got hurt because I was, man, I wanted to see that kid in action
Yeah.
more.
He's
You know, we got
tough,
to see a
man.
little bit, but he hurt his foot with Philip Andrew, and I was like, and I
Foot
wanted
lock or what?
Foot
Straight
lock.
foot lock he loves. He
Straight
loves
foot,
that foot lock.
He's good.
So nasty.
Yeah, he learned Kabaka, man. He's good.
He just
does
sits
it.
back on it and it's done. Everywhere. Everywhere, man.
Yeah. What else did happen? Well, then Philip Andrew got disqualified against Arnaldo.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this.
Rightfully so.
People that don't know Arnaldo or never trained with Arnaldo. Everybody from our team that had our neck in that situation, when he locked the hands in and he climbed towards the back, I was like, yeah, it's done. And when he starts moving back, I was like, I knew 100% like either he was gonna tap,
or he was gonna go out of bounds,
or he's gonna pass out, or he's gonna go out of bounds.
I don't think he'd tap. I don't think he'd ever tap just out of principle.
No, I think he thought there was like, man, because if you think about it, like I thought he would like if he pulled his hat off,
No way.
walking back, it would be the escape. So on his head, when he starts walking back, he was like, oh, that's the escape. You understand?
But
But
when
it's
have
a
you ever
choke.
escaped it that way?
It's a choke.
Nobody's ever escaped a Darce choke walking backwards.
Exactly, but he thought it was that. And you can see that he knew where he was.
Yeah.
Because when he steps out of balance,
Mm-hmm.
he knees down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the referee says, stop.
Yeah.
Because he steps 1 feet, then he steps another one,
Yeah.
then he knees down.
Yeah.
Then the referee's like, it's done.
Yeah. And the first foot should have been done. I mean, unless
Exactly.
he circled back in.
Exactly. That's why when I saw
But he
him
was
step
dragging
up,
Arnaldo too. That's
man,
the other thing.
you
He's
can
dragging
see
his weight.
pictures. Yeah, exactly. That's why, like, man, I like Felipe Andrew. I love his jiu-jitsu. I love watching him
Sure,
fight.
he's a beast.
Nothing against him, you know. He's one guy, and you guys know I'll if I have something against someone, and we're talking about this person later on, I don't have against someone the way he fights. You know, later on, different weight class. Always talk about him. It was nice that he got killed. So Felipe Angel, man, he Arnaldo didn't pull.
No,
Arnaldo do not push him.
no.
You can see pictures like Arnaldo like
He's sitting his
hanging.
way back.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
see he's like sitting his way back,
Yeah.
knee on the floor, and it's like, and again, I've been to that fucking hand triangle. Boucher have been there.
Sucks.
Everybody,
He's
Kwanzaa,
so strong
look
there.
at everybody there, and everybody was like, man, it's like you can say whatever.
Yeah.
It's like if you've been to that situation, you know how tight
You
his
know.
hand triangle
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and it's like it was gonna tap or
Yeah.
pass out or whatever.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's
It's
the whole thing. I
intentional.
think he felt like, oh shit, I'm not gonna come out.
Yeah.
So it's like, then he thought to be like, and maybe on the moment that he's like, man, if I step back, that's my exit.
Yeah.
And he didn't thought it was like,
Close
man,
enough to
yeah,
the yeah.
you know. So it's like, but okay, that happened. A lot of people complained. There was other fights too, and I think it was like, I think a lot of people didn't. There were some small mistakes, and the finals had, and the whole thing, the semi and the finals had all the cameras and everything, how they always do at the Worlds, they do
Yeah.
the Pan Ams, and they had three referees, so it's like, and yeah, you can think
You
what you
can
want,
think there's a bad call,
but
but
it's
if
like,
three
yeah.
guys agree,
And of course, there were some bad calls, but come on, these referees, they probably like, the last time that I being a referee, if a competitor, if
Yeah.
you're not every day in the tournament and you're competing and
Yeah,
it's fresh
of
on your
course,
head, it's
of
fresh
course.
situations, like the small little situations, it's not that you forget, it's like sometimes you don't see it or you forget or you're like, oh, it's not like, people talk like the referees like they do on purpose or something
No,
like
but it's also a
not.
long couple days, man.
Oh yeah.
Sitting there staring at jujitsu for 12,
Yeah.
13, 14 hours. I mean,
And them, because they have to sit and be like
Yeah.
really paying attention.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
barely move, you know? So, what else? Man, for the people that didn't know about that guy,
He's a beast,
Samuel,
man.
Ooh,
He is a beast.
man.
I've watched him for a while now, and I'm telling you, that match with Gianni Grippo was just. I think that opened up the world to like who this guy is. You know, but
But I think that still some people didn't see it, and like when they went to Isaac,
yeah,
and it was kind of funny because him and Mateo's got Isaac and Kennedy. Again, Isaac's super nice guy, Kennedy
Yeah.
too, nothing against
Yeah.
these guys. But Flo Grappling posted a picture only of those two guys. And this is how like I always complain about Flo Grappling that they make a good cover. I like that, right? But
Yeah.
how they are super, they pick
They're very
one or two
biased.
things. Yeah,
Very
biased, like too much.
Yeah.
To the point of this.
It's becoming more obvious though, I
Yeah,
think.
I think this whole thing, it's affecting so many people, even Americans and everything, that people are getting like more and more like,
Drawn back.
oh, because before it was just, oh, it's just the Brazilians complaining,
Yeah.
but now it's like
Everybody.
everybody's complaining. For example, look at this. You don't do this kind of stuff. The reigning champion was
For which way?
Pan Am for feather, Mateus Gabriel, and he's the world champion.
Yeah.
These guys from Pro Grappling, they post a picture of Isaac that works with him, and Kennedy, and like, who's gonna be the feather king for Pan Ams?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can, don't get me wrong. You know, it's like, if you didn't have the champion from
Yeah.
last year,
If he was out.
and the world champion was not there,
Yeah.
I could be like, yeah, man, Kennedy and
One of
Isaac.
these guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They 100%.
Yeah.
They have a big chance to do it.
Should have been the king with the two below.
They should put Gianni
Something.
Grippo.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
he already won once.
When? How many years ago?
Hey, how many?
Not taking anything
Kennedy
away from
never
him.
won.
Yeah, but Kennedy versus Gianni wouldn't even be a match.
Kennedy never won. It doesn't matter. The kid already done it. He could have done it again. Isaac never won.
True. But both, I think, are more
What I want to get
in
is
the scene.
those
than Gianni.
four guys
Sure.
should be in a picture, and you put like who will be
Who will dethrone?
the throne.
Yeah,
5 guys.
sounds
Put
good.
6 guys.
Yeah. Put the whole division.
Man, because the whole thing's like they're tough guys.
They're
Even
all
Thiago,
good.
the guy's tough.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, but come on, you can't put 2 guys and be like, who's gonna be the king? And the karma on the story is they both got out
Yeah.
from our two guys from Checkmat,
Yeah.
and they're like on the first
Yep.
round,
Yep.
and it's like, and Mateus Gabriel got pissed, and you can see in one of the videos he comes to the guy, to the tall guy from photographing, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Who's the king?"
He said it
And
in
the guy's
Portuguese
like,
to him?
and the guy's like, "Who?" And someone was beside him, and he was like, "Talking to you." And the guy's like, "Oh, with me?" He's like, "What
The
he
guy said
said?"
that to him?
Yeah, and he was like, "What?" What he said, and he was like, "Yes, who's the king?" And the guy's like, and left. Then
Yeah.
after he run into Mateus Gabriel, and Mateus was like, "Oh man, no, 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 I'm sorry." It's like, I
He's
was
the
like,
nicest guy.
it wasn't me that
He-
posted the picture. And Mateus Gabriel was like,
Yeah.
"It's okay."
It's
like,
one of you guys. Did you notice Flo, their last Who's Number One? The stage setup was very different. They didn't have that whole like raised stage, like, and I don't know, you know,
Mhm.
but it seemed like, are they not using Fight to Win anymore?
I don't think so.
I mean, it looked very different.
That's the word on the street that they're
Really?
yeah, they're
Wow. Yeah,
but
it looked very different that
I
day. Just to
yeah
kind of go on
no
what Flo has
and I think that's a mistake, because one thing is you're doing the media
Yeah,
and you having the money to pay people.
sure.
Another thing is to do the work that Seth does and everything, and setting up. And
Yeah.
he already, and the whole thing
The
is,
production
again,
of it, you're saying.
yeah, the production. He already has that dialed
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
you know. So
Interesting.
I think it's, we'll see what happens. For the sport, it can be good, but I don't know. Because it's like
But is
it's
it a media
another.
company now, like just taking over the whole industry?
Well, I don't think they're. Can I say my thing is, unfortunately, they're making so many mistakes and being biased and all that stuff,
Yeah,
and doing that kind of stuff with people to help him and everything.
sure.
They're getting greedy and greedy. That at some point they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
they
People
slowly
turn
like,
their back on them.
if they're not gonna be selling so much, then because man, if you want it or not, it's like Fight to Win was almost every single weekend. So if you
Still is.
sign up, yeah, if you
Yeah.
sign up for photographing,
It's worth the $20 at that point.
yeah, exactly.
Watch your friends compete, whatever.
Or you doing nothing on a Friday night,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Jiu-jitsu.
football, basketball? No, I can watch jujitsu.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
watch jujitsu.
Perfect.
It's like, hey, what are you gonna do? Oh man, that guy from the gym's gonna fight, or from your team.
Yeah.
You
Come
know,
come by, bring some beers.
come on,
Let's.
exactly. And then it's like even on the gyms,
Yeah.
like HQ does it. It's like
Yeah.
after training on Friday, they turn it on, and it's like it's running over there, and people
Yeah.
are rolling. Some people are watching.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's one thing. They don't have
Enough events.
events, and they don't have the structure of that set already had. It's like, we're gonna do this every
Yeah.
weekend, this, and
Yeah.
so we're gonna run it and we're gonna do it. And they thought, I think they got greedy, and they thought, it's like, we
We
don't
can do
need
it.
them.
Sure.
And
Cut an expense or whatever.
exactly. It's like, I think they're gonna make a mistake doing that, because
Yeah.
talk about this on the show before. I think Seth is a little bit like his personality. I think he's like, sometimes he can be a little bit of an asshole, and
Sure.
I think a lot of people agree with me, because everybody like at some point a bunch of
Yeah.
famous people argue with him or like talk shit with him, but I love what he does for the sport.
Sure.
You understand? It's like, he's, man, amazing what he does. He
Yeah.
put the standards high, and it's amazing to see too. Like, he started a small show, and
Yeah.
I remember João, and the belt was
Yeah.
different color.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
went,
The one in Huntington here.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was like a small one, and now it's like,
Yeah.
it got, so
Well
it's like,
now.
man, credit to him. Like, I hope he's like,
Yeah.
he can hold on and like pass through
Yeah.
COVID and everything, because
I hope,
for
man.
the sport it's amazing what he does, right? Like
They
paying
need it.
people, yeah. Man, the
And
sport needs it.
the traveling, like it goes town
Exactly.
to town, builds up those markets,
Yeah.
well, I shouldn't say builds up the markets, but supports those markets,
Yeah.
and no, I agree. I mean, I saw him post something, that, he took a loan out against his house or
Oh
something,
yeah, I
and
saw
like,
that.
I was like, whoa, and Seth and I are good friends. I mean, I
Yeah.
talk to him weekly,
Yeah.
and when I saw that, I was like, oh boy, I hope they don't run down that same kind of
Yeah.
road that some of these other businesses have, and
No, yeah.
you
Well,
know.
yeah, and I think they have enough, like the name. That's one other thing
Oh
I
yeah,
still wrap don't understand.
for
They
sure.
already have the name.
I mean, he's the first time I ever did a show with him was in Dallas for an event called Europa. It was like a bodybuilding, like it's like an Arnold's but
Oh,
smaller,
okay.
right? And he was putting on his tournament there, and he's like, "Hey, come to my pro show the night before." And I was like, pro show jujitsu. I'm like, what? Yeah. So I roll up and he's like, yeah, just meet me here at 6. And I was like, alright, cool. So I go. And they're doing like lights and sound checks and all this shit. And like AC/DC blaring and like the lights are going crazy. And I was like, the hell is this, you
Yeah.
know? And he's like, dude, he goes, you've never seen this. This is, gonna be the future of all this. And, and I met Missy there and some of the other crew that are no longer with them now. But, that was my first experience with them, man. And everyone since then has just been better and better and better. Even when we went to Hawaii was amazing. And, that's why, like, I was a little thrown off when I saw the Who's Number One. I was like, why the hell are the mats on the floor? Like, that was the first thing that threw me off a little bit. The lighting, maybe it was a different venue or whatever. I mean, I didn't really know about that, but yeah, I just thought it was very, very strange that they kind of
Yeah.
went their own way.
Well, and I hope that keeps going and
Yeah.
forgotten will from themselves.
I just wonder if there's some sort of like,
That's my opinion. The reason I want to forgot to fuck themselves is because they keep doing the same thing over and over again.
yeah,
For example, they're doing the Daisy Fresh shit, right? Number one, it really pisses me off, and a lot of Brazilians and even Americans know this, right? My friend that was in Florida with Josh, man, he's from West Virginia.
yeah.
People don't know West Virginia is a state,
Super poor,
the
man.
poorest
Super poor.
state in
Yeah,
America.
yeah,
I met him over there because I was in college and he was doing jiu-jitsu the first time I started doing jiu-jitsu, and he was a broke, broke.
yeah,
Like, man, I went to his house. He was like,
yeah.
when you see movies of like not
Right.
offending him, but he's like he called himself that too. Like some white trash, like
Yeah,
house and people and
yeah,
following on the family and stuff. Like he was
yeah,
like
man.
that,
Yeah,
and now he's successful, has a gym, do all
sure.
that stuff. And we're talking about it. He's like, yeah, man, it's like I feel you, Bernard, because it's like, man, I was always. He's like, I was always poor my whole life. I was never like this kid. You can't
Yeah,
be in Miami a weekend, then Orlando another one,
yeah,
then this place another one. Then you only compete. I'm sorry, America, thank God, and that's why it makes it so great of a country. It gives you the opportunity to be able to like get a job at Walmart.
yeah,
If you really want to make it, you're gonna make it.
yeah,
You get a job at Walmart. You go from 8 o'clock at night. You're done training 9. Okay, 9 o'clock. Do the night shift.
yeah.
Go until like 2 a.m. Go back, sleep. Wake up at 10. Training's at 10. Wake up at
Change
9:30.
concessions.
You're already inside the
Yeah,
gym.
yeah.
Easy.
But that's why
Don't
it's
give
all
me
kind
the
of,
we don't have money for we're so broke. First of all, poor for a third world country is different than poor in America.
people will never understand.
People
They
exactly.
really will never understand.
And these guys are like what make me it's almost like, and I was talking to other guys and they're like, yeah, man, it's like they're playing, and this guy told me like, yeah, it's funny because it's like they're playing being poor.
Yeah.
You understand? It's like they want to look like they're more like, oh my god, they sleep on the mats. It's like, yeah,
So what? How many people? I've slept on mats before.
I slept
All
on
of
the
us have,
mats.
but
When I first got to California, Boucher had to sleep in La Habra.
yeah, yeah,
You understand? He had one title, world champion, everything,
yeah,
black belt. He was sleeping in La Habra. He
yeah,
was driving 4 hours to fucking work,
yeah.
and still doing it. And these kids are playing like, oh my god, what this guy's doing, it's crazy. Like everybody in jiu-jitsu is millionaires and nobody does anything.
Dude,
The
nobody.
guy, and the worst thing pissed me off is like, they don't win.
You said that.
They don't. I was there.
I know. They get, but
They
here's
got
the thing.
second.
They
They
have a
got
strong.
podium.
They have a strong competition team for sure.
Yeah, but
But they
they're
haven't.
doing
What
all
they
this,
really
but
achieved.
they're not winning.
Yeah.
You understand? It's like if they're doing all this and the results were showing up like
For
they're
sure.
winning everything, they have a bunch of killers,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
like you have other kids winning, and it's
Yeah.
like I saw 2 finals and one semifinal, one finals that they did. The kid lost 17-0. Teteu,
Maybe he didn't train enough.
Atos guy on the purple belt killed that freaking guy that was talking shit about Meregali, and I'm like,
Really?
yeah, and I'm like,
He beat him 17-0?
no, this another blue belt, different one that lost too.
Yeah.
That kid that talks shit about Meregali, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like Meregali,
Sure.
and I'm like,
Just because you
kid,
don't like his energy
yeah,
doesn't
his energy is like it doesn't, it's too
doesn't
bright.
vibe with you.
It's too bright. It blinds me. It's I'm like, this kid's like, I understand he was joking and everything, but I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, you cannot even manage to win a Pan Am's.
yeah.
How do you want to say that's like,
Asterisk pans. Asterisk.
yeah,
The
and it's
COVID
like,
pans.
yeah, the COVID Pan, because you have a lot of tough purple belts from
For
Brazil.
sure.
And what really pisses me off is this. Then people are like, oh, you're hating them. No, 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 no. It's this. I was like, oh, you dare not win. We had this kid, Monster, right? He
Purple belt.
won purple
He's
belt.
a
He
stud.
won the last three events that IBJJF did:
Yeah,
Oklahoma, Austin, and Pan Am's.
yeah,
Double gold. The kid is a ham selling all immigrants.
yeah.
He works 50 to 60 hours a week. Only trains at night.
Serious?
Teaches jiu-jitsu, and won double gold. So do
Wow.
not give me that shit
You need
that's
to train
like,
all day.
I need to train every single day, because one, they're not.
Yeah,
Two, they're not having results, because this kid works, only trains at night. When he can, he trains in the morning, but you don't see him at HQ and everything.
Yeah.
Every now and
Yeah.
then you see him when he gets,
yeah.
and this kid went over there and won double gold. You
It's
understand?
just pans.
Pan Am's, Oklahoma, and Austin.
Yeah.
All the last three tournaments he won double gold. So it's like, don't give me the things like, I don't have
Yeah.
money for soap, and oh, I'm not working because I want my time to train, because
So how much can you physically
Lucas,
train in a day? Physically.
exactly.
Two, maybe three
That's what I'm saying.
sessions
It's
a
like,
day.
if you're doing 2 sessions a day,
Yeah.
right? And the whole thing is this: the guy that owns the gym, he could
Mhm.
plan, be like, hey, we're gonna start training at 12 because you guys are gonna sleep into 11,
Mhm.
because everybody's gonna get a job later on,
Mhm.
so you guys are rested,
Yeah.
so you can train. And again,
You can work till
Ushesha,
1 a.m. and still.
until he won the third open division title. So that's a kid that won everything a blue belt,
Yeah.
double gold, blue, purple, and brown belt.
Yeah.
3 times in the black belt.
He was still working.
Then after the third one, he was like, he got some sponsors. He's like, oh, maybe I don't need to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like,
But here's the thing, and think about this.
he was
enough.
driving from, he was driving. At some point, he didn't have a place. He had two, like a world title,
Yeah.
open division,
Yeah.
when he first got here. He was still living in the gym for like a month or so. You understand? And you
So
have these
crazy.
guys being like, oh my god, we're so poor, we can't afford anything. It's like, come on now.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think they try to make it like the American favelas. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Some of the
Yeah.
toughest kids in the world come out of those favelas.
But it's not the same thing.
But it's the mentality of where they come from and what they deal with on a daily basis. I think that makes them tough.
Yeah, but why do you think every guys that come from the favela, they're still working?
Because they're not stupid.
Yeah.
They know.
Because they know it's like,
Yeah.
it's not like that. I don't need, and again, they know it's like, I need to work.
Yeah. But even then, what's the end game with it? You know, all you guys. Okay, you won worlds at blue belt. It's not like I'm knocking at your door to say let me
Yeah.
sponsor you. I don't.
Again,
Doesn't matter.
Buchecha won, he had
At
6
black belt.
world titles at black belt, and
Yeah.
he won everything on the other belts.
And
And
barely
he
got
won
sponsored.
Nogi and everything.
Yeah.
It took him 3 years winning
Yeah. Everything.
black belt,
Yeah.
the best jiu-jitsu guy, to get sponsors,
Yeah.
to
Enough
be
to
able
live.
to live,
Yeah.
to be able to, and this is the thing, still doing seminars,
Yeah, of
training
course.
twice a day,
And conditioning.
and conditioning.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not that he was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But okay, they lost, I was happy. I am, man, because it's like, and really pissed me off, really disrespectful. They're recording the kids started losing. At some point, it was like 12-0, the guy walked away.
The coach?
No,
One of their teammates.
the flow grappling guy recording.
Really?
Yeah,
So they don't want to show that side of it.
exactly.
So it's like so the flow grappling is just like
Exactly.
regular media. When
Yeah.
things look bad, they
Yeah,
stop
they could
recording.
step away.
It's
Exactly.
interesting.
Right? And
It's very
another thing that
interesting.
made me really happy, some other guy changed weight classes. He
Yeah.
came up from lightweight to medium weight, and he tells people, and he's all talk about his guard and how amazing he is, and he thinks he's like, he could beat Lucas Lepre, and like, please be real, you'll never beat Lucas Lepre. And they have the same name, but it's okay. Um, he got killed by Ronaldo.
Ronaldo's a beast.
That's another thing I was gonna say. It's like, it
It's
wasn't
so
like
it's not like
it wasn't a normal person that killed him. I'll
yeah.
give him credit on that.
Yeah.
Ronaldo is a
He's
beast.
a beast, man, and he's just getting better.
He's a
Every
beast.
time I see him, he's getting better and better.
I think the whole thing is the tempo that he fights,
Can't keep up with
and
it.
he just goes and goes.
Yeah.
Like this kid, it's like, yeah, man. I never seen anyone passing his guard in a tournament, but Ronaldo passed like 2 or 3 times.
Three
So I was
times.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that. 3 times, like
Another
nothing
another
too.
kid that was like, it was not a good idea to go. I should have gone lightweight.
But wanted to challenge himself.
I
Maybe,
see.
maybe.
Maybe he thought it was easier because
It
if you think
doesn't
of,
get easier. None of it gets easier.
can I say something? You know what's weird because coincidence maybe. 2 kids, same name, Jonathan,
Hmm.
Alves and Gracie.
Hmm.
They both went down. Well, Alves is always lightweight,
Yeah.
but Jonathan's Gracie
Jason
went
was
down lightweight.
Yeah.
So instead of having one kid, he had 2 kids that were really tough.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of helped him to be like, he'll go middleweight.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know. Yeah, I'm just,
Speculating.
but I was happy. I'll tell you this, I was really happy because
So you had a good Pan
the
Am, you're
kid,
saying?
yeah, definitely. Well, it could be a little bit better, but man, at the same time, it was kind of weird because we had 7 finals,
Yeah.
2 for the girls, Nachi and Pachi,
Yeah.
5 from the guys. Unfortunately, we lost all of them,
Yeah.
so that was kind of like, it was a bittersweet because man,
Yeah.
5 finals.
It's
It was
huge.
like there was only one, I think one weight class that was not either us or Aquas in the final.
Yeah. That's a good thing, right? I
Definitely.
mean, as a team.
And the whole thing is this: if we had won one final, we had won.
Yeah.
We really got
Yeah.
first.
But hopefully it makes everybody hungry. I mean,
But
think about it. There were some great final matches. Nachi's match was
oh yeah,
amazing. You
yeah,
know, I mean,
man, she's to the finals and ooh,
yeah.
she got to, almost got the back, man.
Yeah,
Ooh,
man. She's so good. It's
yeah.
unreal.
And man, I tell you that the girls, I like, I don't know the guy, like there's some guys that like, they're like, hey, I don't like the girls. Man,
They
nowadays,
get after it, man.
they,
I've always said
they're
this.
one
I've
thing. They're
always said
always
it.
more technical.
Yeah.
They don't stall.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's like you watch the fights and you're like, man, you can just sit right there and just wait a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, no, they
They
keep
get
going
after
and
it,
you're
man.
like, I feel like say, what the hell are you all doing? Just
Yeah.
slow down. It's like
No, they
you're
got
waiting. I
one
know.
speed. All
So
gas,
it's like,
no
man,
brakes.
you had some good fights.
Yeah.
Like, um, even the heavier girls, man. They're like, I think because the girls are, it's like, even if they're heavy on the weight class for the
Yeah.
girls, they still like a weight class. They're lighter than everybody on the gym.
Yeah.
So they all play guard. It's not the same pressure on top. So like
Yeah.
all the girls try to play guard or something. So
Yeah.
it's like even the
Who
big
won the
girls.
girls open?
The new girl.
Oh, from
The
Atos. She just got her black belt, right?
I
I
think
know who you're
no.
talking about.
Yeah, she and
Louisa
Louisa
closed
closed
out.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was
Yeah,
third?
and she won the weight class too, man.
Really?
Yeah, the girl. Yeah, man. She's tough.
She fought a friend of mine, Claire. She didn't want to fight in that match.
Claire.
Claire North. She's from
Oh, from
Tech Team. I know her from Iowa.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
But I'll tell you a story about this girl. She hasn't trained.
Yeah, 'cause I've never seen her
She was
before.
so she was becoming a pharmacist. She's been in college for years.
Oh, okay.
Her husband, John Gutta, he opened a gym. I met him, God, when we were white belts, 15 years ago. Runs a great program out in Iowa at the University of Iowa, and then he's branched out. He's graduated a couple black belts now, and they have affiliate gyms. She's always been super talented. I mean, she will not fully train like some of these people where I have to quit my job, and
Yeah.
she was going to school, became a pharmacist, training,
Exactly. See?
and got to
Yeah.
the finals. And that girl did not want to fight her for Matos at all. If you watch that match again, that girl kept backing away, backing away, backing away, like, nothing. Literally
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do with the match.
Yeah, I think the whole thing too is the girls just got her black belt, so it's like, man,
Both of them did.
yeah. So I think it's
Both of
like,
them. But even so, like, are you fight? So are you fighting not to lose? Or are you fighting to win?
oh, there's some people
Because
that,
Claire was going.
yeah,
That other girl, and I sent Claire a message. I was like, hey, I was like, that match was amazing. I go, that girl did not want to fight you
that was
at
good.
all.
But again, but it was a good fight, man. It was some people were,
Stroking the left side, backside.
Gangster.
Hey, that's it. Got the LA hoodie.
Oh, LA hoodie. See, it's hoodie, guys.
It's hoodie season, man.
Just roll.
It's
If you wanna
70
customize
degrees.
your your gym and stuff like that, they take
Your
orders
life.
on everything.
Your life. And we've been doing a bunch for
Sweatbands.
a lot of the gyms. It's nice to see them
Everything.
coming back. It's
Yeah.
good to see
Yeah.
gyms getting their student base
Yeah.
back, which is all. I mean,
And,
it
and
just.
and the hoodies too. Now it's a little extra. You know, they can sell it maybe a
Yeah.
little. Oh, okay.
Well, that's the thing. So we're seeing, as the gyms are opening,
Yeah.
we're seeing more orders start flowing in, which is good for custom, stuff for gyms and
Mhm.
stuff. But it's just when I see that, I get excited because I know that the gyms are starting to get their student base back. So
Oh yeah, because yeah, they're making money.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
nice.
So it's good to see it.
Yeah. What else happened? Man, that Tiago kid that won the feather was he's a beast, but man, can I tell you something? Well, people that fight understand this. Once you're on your day,
You're untouchable.
yeah, exactly.
Literally.
You like it's luck,
Yeah.
and things happen, and like people trip over during the fight,
Yeah.
and you land on the side.
Yeah.
It's like everything
Yeah.
goes to some reason. It
Just
goes
clicking.
to not taking credit for him. He fought three really tough guys,
Yeah.
and he won.
Yeah.
He beat Johnny Grippo.
Yeah.
He beat Samuel Nagai, and he beat uh, Mateus Gabriel in the final. It's so weird because if you watch the fights, it was pretty much all kind of the same. It was when they supposed Gianni, Nagai, and Samuel and Mateus are supposed to score the points were like in the back scramble kind of situation, and the kid
Scrambled out of it.
somehow it scrambled and did something
Yeah.
and nothing happened. And I was watching, I was like, oh my God. And
Get tired
you
just
know what's
watching them.
funny? 2 weeks before, he got killed by
Where?
Kennedy
Where?
at the UIE.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 6 minutes fight. It was
Yeah.
like 11-0, and he got
You're right,
armbarred. And I'm
yeah.
like, so when they fought this kid, I was like, and I seen him fighting before, so I was like, yeah, he's tough. But then when I saw him with the Kennedy, maybe it's the game too. That's the whole
Could
thing.
be.
Yeah,
Kennedy, I mean, here's the thing
No,
with
Kennedy's
Kennedy.
a fucking beast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
fuck
can't.
yeah.
I don't care who you
Yeah.
throw in front of him.
Yeah.
He's gonna make people look
Yeah.
silly. That he shouldn't,
Yeah.
but he's gonna make them look silly.
Man, and this kid just came and he was like Jimmy Grippo and freaking, and I was like, whoa, wow. Then some other guy was like almost, and I was like, oh my God. And my first guy was the same thing, like armbar, almost a choke, and the armbar in the final. I'm like, but again,
Tough, man.
not taking credit.
When it's your day, it's your day.
It's
And
your
that's the
day,
thing.
and again, he's a tough kid.
Sure.
He's
Sure.
tough. What else? It's like if he wasn't, not luck, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You know, it's like not taking credit from the kid. He deserves to win. He was on his day, but so people
Yeah.
understand. It's like
When he's on his
on your day is like everything that you do kind of works, and nothing, everything happens.
Even the dumb luck works in
Yeah.
your favor.
So it's like, but of course he has a lot of jiu-jitsu, and he's got good strategy. Like he
Yeah.
fights like really, like you can see he doesn't super calculated what he does and everything. But
How old is he?
I don't
Any
know,
idea?
man. I don't
Mid-20s?
know. I don't know. He's mixed native Brazilian, so man,
Yeah,
those people,
see.
it's either they look old and they're
Or they look
young, or
12.
they're 12 and they're like 28.
Yeah.
So.
It's just gonna be that's a great class. Like that weight class with
No,
those guys is gonna be great.
I think that
Because-
weight class, the only one that was missing, well, two guys that was missing. It was, oh my God, the kid from our,
Oh, isn't he in school right now or something?
yeah, another kid. See,
He's
medical
a beast,
school.
man. That's what he's in, right? He's in
Medical school,
Yeah.
and he was always doing that.
That's what I'm saying.
He was
He's
only
still in
training like
school.
3 times a week,
Yeah.
and he was making finals, the
Yeah.
world, and all that stuff. So
Yeah. He got to
lazy,
the
fresh
finals.
guys, stop
Hey.
giving excuse.
Go to medical school.
Yeah, go to medical
Have a
school and
fallback
fight.
plan.
Let me see how it goes to you
What
guys.
is his name?
God, I forgot.
He's got like 2 names.
Yeah,
God, it's gonna kill me.
I completely forgot.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
I'll look it up while
yeah,
you keep
Google it,
going.
man. Come on. But yeah, he wasn't there, and Sajiroto wasn't here. But Sajiroto too is like he's in America. Oh, he's in Canada. That's why he's in Canada.
But couldn't he come down from Canada or no?
I don't know. Can they? I think
I
so,
have no
right?
idea.
I think Canada's open.
Should be.
Yeah.
No, actually, they closed the borders to us. Jamil
Jamil.
Hill. That's
Yeah,
his name.
Jamil,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I didn't even get there. I just started typing in
Yeah.
Lloyd, and well, some other things
Uh,
popped up for Lloyd.
Yeah, but man, I think that's it. Like on that weight class, and man, can I say something? It's a fun weight class to watch,
For
man.
sure, because those guys move, they're technical, they're, you know, to me, that's one of the best,
And
one
we
of the,
have one upset that
who?
man, Meow lost to the kid that just got his black belt. It was a decision,
How
right?
old is Meow? 30 yet?
I don't think so. No, it's like yeah, it's probably like maybe 27.
Why is it an upset?
Oh man, on that weight class, light feather.
Yeah,
When
but
was the last time he didn't make a final, a semi-final or something?
I just think since ADCC, he's a different fighter. I think since Rotolo took his knee and bent it basically backwards, he's been a different fighter. His last couple outings, he has not looked super
Yeah.
dominant, you know.
Well, the whole thing too, like he got it super effective too because he's out of unit, and so
Yeah.
I don't know how he's training or anything like that. So.
You heard about that, right?
Oh yeah, they got him into a fight, and
You know why
people got
though, right?
slapped, and yeah, oh he deserves it. Nothing against him, but
Impatient, same thing happened of why they got kicked out of Sugarville, right?
really,
I mean, they went searching elsewhere and came back with no better offers, and you know, that offer was no
oh,
longer on the table.
wow,
You
yeah,
know?
see,
At least that's what I heard.
yeah,
I don't
oh
know if that's
probably,
true.
cause
You would know better than I
yeah,
would.
but I'll never ask, man. It's like, oh,
I
it's
don't
like,
ask, people
yeah.
just tell.
I think, what else? Man, Ponza and Max.
That was a great
was a great
match
fight,
again.
yeah, man. Can I say something? It's like Max,
He's a big boy.
yeah, he's a big boy, and he surprised me because it's like I'll tell you this. I was like, at first he started putting the rhythm and everything, and I was like, I think like because normally, right? Like
Yeah.
nothing against him, man. Love kid, super funny, like nice guy. But I thought he was gonna gas out because that's what,
No.
yeah.
He goes now, man.
I know that was like he
Yeah.
kept going, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, he's not gonna gas out.
I think Dante just pushes him.
I know,
Pushes him to
I
the
know,
edge.
man. I was like, I was surprised. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, man. I was like,
Ponza had his
wow,
footlock too. He had it.
man.
I thought it was done. Cause when Ponza gets
Yeah.
that footlock, it's always.
Well, Punza felt that I think it was the first time he fought super ultra heavy.
He gave up a lot.
He,
Max looks so much
yeah.
bigger than him, man.
No, the whole thing too that like the way that Punza fights,
Yeah.
he is like, man, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I felt the difference.
But they're
It's
sitting on
like,
top.
yeah,
He plays that 50
yeah.
and he plays that outside.
And,
He's looking for that
like,
foot.
and the
You know.
getting smashed, the
Once
sweep
he
guy
goes
and
underneath,
everything, and it's
yeah.
like,
It's a lot of
and the whole
movement.
thing is, doing one fight, it's one thing like on the open. Sometimes you got a bigger guy, and the
Yeah.
other one's not as
It's the
big,
final.
and it's like,
Yeah.
but the
They're all
finals,
big.
and it's like they're all big, so it's like, but like, and like you said, it's like, man, they moved a lot. It was like,
Yeah.
it was a ultra good, really good ultra heavy fight. You know, it was like,
To me, that fight favored Ponza
yeah,
until they settled, and then when Max just was, I mean, putting that because the Max got to be what, 240,
what?
350, I don't know, 250,
No,
300. What's he weigh?
no,
260.
probably
You think?
260 to 70.
I mean, I guess because he's so damn tall. Like
He's tall, but he's still big, man.
I see him all the time. I love him. He's
Yeah, no,
hilarious.
he's so funny. Yeah,
He's the funniest guy. I can't ever gauge people's weight. You know, like
yeah, no. I
because he's
think
what
man,
6'4", probably 6'3",
yeah,
6'4".
he's
He's
a
a
big
big
boy.
guy.
Yeah, he's definitely 260
So
plus.
what's Ponza walk around at?
I
Two
think
twenty, 230.
no. Now Funds is 240, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
What did he fight at before?
super. But he's gonna go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just figured he fought up because COVID. He's got his gym, you know,
And
family, and
the whole thing too, he felt it. He was like, man, it's been more than a year that he fought
yeah,
Worlds.
yeah, yeah.
And so he was
Yeah.
like, yeah. And the whole thing too is like Buchecha not being here, not
To
have a
push him.
guy.
Yeah.
He said that's like, yeah. He's like, I I'm moving and doing all this stuff,
Yeah.
like I'm getting more used to like drilling, and he's like, oh, that's a
Yeah.
good thing, but at the same time he was like,
He needs
I
that
felt
pressure.
I felt the weight difference. I think that made a big difference too.
Because he's the biggest guy in the gym, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's
Um,
and skill wise,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah. Of course, there's other guys
that are
who
bigger,
got the
but
big, but
yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
What else? Um,
American Nationals potentially, huh?
oh yeah, true, yeah.
Well, adult worlds potentially as well.
Well, Worlds potential. Well, I really hope it happens, and
Yeah.
everything goes. The borders open after election,
Yeah.
and nothing goes
Things get
super
wild, man.
crazy. you know?
I think that's completely out the door. I think the world's gonna go crazy
Yeah,
either
a
way.
little crazy anyways. Uh, but hopefully it happens, you know,
Yeah.
Worlds and Master Worlds are the same weekend and
Yeah,
everything.
same venue, same everything.
Well,
It's gonna
but
be interesting how they squeeze that in. Because if they do, let's say last year World Masters, they had I think 8,200 competitors or something like that. I mean, they had a ton of competitors.
yeah, but I
And
think
Worlds is always
yeah,
how many? 5 or 6,000
yeah,
probably.
but I think they're counting that's like they're gonna lose some numbers.
So even half. Let's say they get half and half. That's
I don't
still
know, man.
seven or eight
It's still,
thousand.
yeah.
That's
Because
a
the whole
lot
thing
of
is like,
people.
I think they're gonna have a lower. I think they're hoping to have a lower number towards masters more than doubles. Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, like Pan-Ams were almost 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Normally it was like 3 plus, you
For
know.
regular pants?
Yeah.
No, it's closer to 6, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
They,
when it's
no,
normal, it's
I
here.
think the last one they were like 5 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like still half.
Sure.
Or a little
Sure.
bit, almost a little bit more
Let's
than
just say half.
a little bit more than half.
So they're expecting like 4,000 then for World Masters, you're saying?
Probably. World Masters, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Because if they did, let's say, 8,000 last year,
Yeah.
and they can cut it off whenever they want.
Yeah.
But they're doing it over 6 days, the 14th to the 20th.
Yeah, but worlds they need. They're probably not gonna do white belts.
They don't do white belts
Yeah.
at Worlds. They never
They
have.
do the least.
What?
What?
No, never white belts at
No.
Worlds. Blue belt enough.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's why they do the Las Vegas Open. So the white belts can compete and no gi and all that stuff.
No, no, no. For worlds, no.
Oh, regular Worlds,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, regular worlds. I think they're not gonna do
No white belts.
juvenile. I don't think they're gonna do juvenile.
Man, it sucks. They don't do that juvenile blues and stuff.
Yeah. I don't
Should
think
let
they're
them
gonna do
fight.
it.
Why
I
not?
don't think because then it's a.
But most of the parents are gonna go compete in World Masters. So maybe they will open it.
Yeah, I don't think they want to do it, but I think that like if they cut the white belts and the juvenile, that's already like
Yeah.
a good number,
Yeah.
right? And even
Yeah.
I think even a lot of the masters are not gonna go because it's like they think it's like my family doesn't want me to go and stuff
I
like
don't know,
that.
man. All
And
these people we talk to seem
they all
amped
want to
up.
do it.
Oh my god, so many people signed up already. Like, look at my Instagram feed was loaded with people like putting their receipt,
Oh
you
wow.
know. So I mean, there's
Yeah, we see.
probably 50 guys I know from Chicago that signed up today.
Oh,
Just and these are just guys that I know that
man,
are,
it's gonna be crazy then. Because the whole thing too is this: you can't change the dates for the final, right? It's Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday,
It's
yeah,
only
yeah.
only the. Well, they're probably gonna have
But
to.
black, not.
Maybe they'll squeeze. I don't know. Ooh,
How many mats could they fit in that venue? Do you think?
that's a lot, man. How many they had on?
They had
12?
no, they had 6 and the 2 on the end, right? Or no, 4, 4, 8, and then 2 on the end, 10 mats I think. I don't think it was 6 in the middle.
They can fit more. Oh, but the whole thing is like they can. If they close out the mirror and they open a little bit more, they can fit more.
I think they'll keep everybody off the floor, extend the mats end to end, you know,
Yeah.
and run maybe 20 mats
They could probably fit another 4.
in there. But what if they get rid of the big ones and they make them?
Sure.
Because they'll just redo the 2 final mats like they always do on Saturday, Sunday.
They can put all the mats together. Yeah. Cause man, I'll tell you this: it's like it's way longer than the
Irvine. Irvine's a basketball sport.
Irvine.
You know, this is.
No, Irvine is probably the same size. No, longer. It was longer. Cause they had like spaces like between the mats. Like in the middle, they had a
Yeah,
space.
yeah.
Then on the sides, the sides doesn't count. But then it's like the big mats. Then they have the 2 pit areas.
Mhm.
Then you can even push the pit areas a little bit, and they had more space. Like, man, we're here. It's the beginning of. It was probably like 20 feet from where the little ramp starts from the area that I told you
So
from
you
the
could put a
doors.
whole other mat there.
Yeah. They can probably then if you put one side to side, then it's 2.
What if they put the
Right.
pit in the ramp? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then it's hard because how are you gonna go in?
There's no behind, like walking
Yeah.
under the seats.
No, the
Hmm.
seats are all like closed,
Gotcha.
and there's only one stairs that's
To
like
come down.
up over here, or you have to go through the door that
So
was
it's kind of
closed.
like Irvine then. where they have the
Yeah.
podium, when you walk in the door, the
Yeah, the
podium's to the
podium is like
right,
on one side.
pit's like right
Well,
in
the
front
whole
of
thing is
you.
like they can change the podium to, because one side they had a little stage where they had the t-shirts and everything.
Yeah.
They could probably put the podium over there,
They should
where
put the
they can
podium
get.
upstairs, they should just put it out of there, like in the lobby or something.
Yeah, yeah,
At least then they
they
have
can probably
something.
like, easily they can put two and two.
So
So
four
it's like
more mats.
four more mats out of 12,
So they're like
16.
running like 18, well, 12 to 18, oh no, I'm sorry, 16 to 18 mats.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but World Mat, I mean, well, if they cut it in half, yes, because World Masters was what, 36 mats last year in Vegas or something like that?
No, 24, no.
No, and then you had the other 8 for Las Vegas Open.
No, yeah, but then not, you don't have those videos of them.
Well, kind of, if they're gonna run, so if they're gonna run
No,
World and
but yeah, but they're gonna go probably like 3 days Masters, 3 days Worlds,
and then all the finals.
completely separate. Because what else? It'll be hell.
So you're telling me there's gonna be finals like on a Wednesday?
Yeah, man.
The World Masters
Probably.
finals?
Probably because what else? Like they can't change the how that's set up for the finals on Sunday.
Why
Okay?
couldn't they do all the finals on Sunday? So they run,
Because
you know what I
then
mean?
they reduce the fine. Maybe they would do like all the black belts and everything, but I mean it's like still, man, you don't want. I'm sorry, nothing is, but it's like you're there to watch
Yeah.
the finals of adults, not the finals of
Exactly.
masters. And I appreciate, I like
Oh
it.
man, Master 3.
No,
I gotta watch
no,
it.
don't get me wrong. I like it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I want to see Barboza and
Sure.
I want to see Megatone. You know, it's like I
Yeah.
want to see those kind of guys. You
Yeah.
know, but again, we're not.
You wanna see
We
the,
don't fit the majority of people.
sure,
You
sure,
know.
they wanna see the action.
Yeah.
They don't care about these guys that were,
No, I think they're gonna just run those tournaments. And man, can I say something? I don't think it really makes a difference for these people. They just
yeah,
want
they
to
wanna
fight.
fight, yeah.
Like I watched today freaking Megaton post. You saw that from yesterday or
He's
today,
insane.
and he was so
He's
happy. You can see
insane.
he was like training for open division with this
Dude,
huge
hey,
guy from
just
his
drinking
gym too.
already?
And he was like food of champions, and I was like, oh, he's man. You can see he was like
Get out there,
he was
man.
like, oh, he's going. He's happy, man. He was happy.
He's gonna be blitzed the whole time.
Yeah, he was happy.
And then Nationals, what, in December, do you think, or what do you think?
Uh, they said maybe the first week of December.
Interesting.
First week of December, so it's like
Where?
Dallas.
Dallas is a great city.
Yeah.
That'd be so wild to do American
But the whole
Nationals.
thing, American Nationals, I think they're gonna announce this week, by the end of this week, like, well,
When it's on there.
or next week.
Well, they gotta wait. I think they have to wait till after the election. Because if the border doesn't open, regular world's
No,
gonna open.
no, no, I'm not gonna world,
For Nationals. Oh, gotcha.
I think either
Man.
end of this, like tomorrow or Saturday or something, or like
Yeah.
Monday or so.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be wild. I wonder if
But
they're
they say
doing
that
that.
like 90% chance of happening.
I wonder if they're doing that to just drive the mats east and then just keep going to Florida.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I don't think they have mats stashed in Florida.
No.
And
But see, that's another reason to
they
have
have a hub.
a huge
Yeah.
uh,
Hub down there.
P&Ms because it's guaranteed and it's worth it
Yeah.
to
The
have that
storage
many
fee and all
mats
that
and
stuff,
all
yeah.
the, you know, then
Yeah.
you have like two groups of mats and it's like
Yeah.
okay, because then like you said, it's like they start pushing Boston,
Yeah.
everything becomes bigger,
Yeah.
so they can take
The
more
East
people.
Coast is great, man. I mean, New York, Boston,
Yeah.
Jersey, all these markets are great. We visit them all the time.
Yeah.
It's growing. I mean, New York, they do, they have the New York Open, and
Yeah.
they do well there. But
Uh-huh.
Boston, the Carolinas is good.
Like
Virginia,
Chicago,
Baltimore,
like all
yeah,
those things,
Chicago.
those
Chicago's all right.
people, yeah.
They come. I think they come too often is the problem, man. They
Yeah.
come like 3 times a year, so it's like,
But man, I think they have the numbers. That's the whole thing.
yeah. But at the same time, like, if you won Chicago Open 3 years in a row, do
Yeah.
you really care about doing it again?
No.
And
Yeah.
so it's like, but the nice thing is the way they do with the black point, the black belts, where you have to get the points. So you need points.
Yeah.
So you get some of these guys that I remember
To walk in and,
yeah,
yeah.
Yao fought there, Lapella fought there. Like guys fought there.
Yeah.
That wouldn't. I mean, there's no reason for them to go fight there. Other, then maybe it's a soft market. They can get the points they need.
Mhm.
But it's Chicago. I mean, always
Yeah,
800, 900
yeah.
competitors.
I think if they have something on the East Coast,
Yeah, like a hub
yeah.
to just run up and down the coast
I
with.
think it'll be easier, even easier to be like, well, American Nationals are gonna be in Dallas now.
Yeah, yeah.
So like
Or Atlanta. Atlanta
every
would be
year,
good for,
right? Yeah.
Pan Am's too.
But in a sense, like every year, instead of being
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
American Nationals in Dallas.
Well, they do Vegas, but they do World Masters in Vegas. So now,
So
that's
it's
good.
okay.
So
In
now
a
you
sense,
get rid of it, you move it around a little bit.
you move around, so like,
Sure.
so I think that's a big difference, because it's like, if you move like Pan Am's to Florida,
Yeah.
then you already have Pan Am's Logie in New York.
New York, yeah.
Then you put something like Dallas, you know, you put like
American
American
Nationals.
Nationals, you know? Then later on you go and you be like, oh no, let's do another big terminal or whatever, you move from one place to the
Yeah.
other, and it's like,
Yeah.
it helps. you
Well, if
know?
they leave that there, they do World Masters in Vegas,
Yeah,
Worlds here,
yeah.
and World Nogi in where? Anaheim? You know?
Mm, I don't know, man, it could, can I say something? It'd be like, even if it was in Chicago or someplace like that,
Depends on weather, you don't
or
understand that.
Boston.
No, because New York's so close to Boston, it's 2 hours. You know, and they already do Nogi Pans there. So they need two on the West Coast, two on the East Coast, and two centralized. And Dallas and Vegas are perfectly centralized,
Yeah.
right?
So we need a little bit more, like you said, like Atlanta or something like that.
Well, the only reason I say that, like, their hub is if they have a hub in Atlanta,
Yeah,
now they can run up and down
yeah.
the coast, going north, going south,
Mhm.
and even come in over like Nashville or other states, or
Yeah.
not state cities. So.
The whole thing, yeah, man, if they had a hub in Nashville, cause I live in
That'd be-
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee makes border with 8
Yeah.
or 7 other states,
Yeah.
and it's in the middle of the big
Yeah.
freeways, like up,
Yeah.
down to one side
65
together.
right there,
Yeah,
57,
it's like
all that's right
everything,
there.
you know,
Yeah.
everything like runs through
Yeah.
like Tennessee, so it's like,
Yeah.
maybe, man, if they didn't, can I say something? If they did Worlds and Nashville, man, it would be amazing, but Nashville has,
Man,
it's a
Nashville's
nice
wild.
city, yeah.
We talked about moving there. We talked
Really?
about, yeah, we talked about moving to
nice
Nashville. Well, I like it for business
Where it
because
is,
it's centralized.
yeah.
So I can go east, west, south, north.
Like,
I'm like 7 hours from everything,
Yeah,
which is
everything,
perfect, you
yeah.
know, for what I do, um, and it's cheap, man. It's real cheap to live there. You know, Nashville's a little expensive now. I mean, they had that big boom in the
Yeah.
last few years, but
Yeah, but it's still growing. Franklin's going,
Franklin's
Chattanooga's
nice,
okay.
yeah. Chattanooga's
Yeah.
weird, man. It's still a mining town.
Chattanooga and Knoxville's kind of like
Knoxville, yeah.
okay, but
Knoxville's
like
alright.
Nashville's, you know, but they have some. Can I say something? They have one town that's called Murfreesboro.
I know exactly where it is. My
Yeah.
uncle lives there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a gym there. There's
Yeah.
a checkmate there.
Yeah, but I lived in a town down a little bit from Murfreesboro called Shelbyville.
Okay.
Yeah, super
Driven
small
through it.
town.
Yeah, I know where it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
I went to high school in Bell Buckle, Tennessee.
What? Shut
Yeah.
up. Really?
It's
So
called
you're
Bell.
so you're a
Next-
hillbilly, you're saying?
Next time, that was a true American experience.
Yeah, for real. It's dope though, man.
Yeah, no, it's
Tennessee's
nice,
really nice,
yeah.
man.
People are super nice with me.
And the weather's nice too, man.
Yeah, it's not that cold, and it's
Mhm.
like, it's not too hot, it's very nice, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Well, let's see, we're at time over here, because then we talk about pretty much,
all the things we needed to talk about.
yeah, the shit that we're telling you to talk and everything.
Giving everybody the info on what's coming up.
Yeah, everything's coming up, and the audio post tomorrow, the video post on Monday.
Nice.
Well, thank you, Nick, again.
Thank you for having me, man. It's always fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun to sit and talk shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy, right? I help because I'll talk a lot of shit. Well,
I just agree or like not.
Yeah, or you be like,
Yeah,
okay, oh, you know,
No, but
pretend
there-
you don't know. It's like, oh, really? So I can like keep talking more shit, you know?
I don't know anything. I know
Yeah.
nothing about nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sure. But yeah, thank you again, coming. Thank you guys for listening. I'm glad to be back, and let's see what we're gonna talk about next Thursday. You know, it's like, next Thursday.
Hopefully we
What
get some
happens?
confirmation on some of this stuff, you know.
Oh,
Hopefully
yeah, true.
IBJJF confirm
Yeah,
some of it by next week,
yeah.
so.
I'll
Yeah.
find something to talk about for sure.
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you
Alright, man.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.